Hi guys, today's project is a little rustic handle for a cupboard or a drawer. I'm going to start with about 5.5 inches of 3/8 round, although obviously you can use any size of material and any length. You know, make it to your own specifications. Now we're going to use the rounded part of the anvil. We're going to hang over about 3/8 of an inch and hammer it down just behind that 3/8. I'm going to taper it. Now the anvil is designed with this about 1/4 of an inch radius on there, 4 jobs like this. It extends about 6 inches up. You don't want to use the sharp bit of the anvil for this because you want the transition between the taper and the sort of the knob on the end to be smooth. If you do it on a sharp part of the anvil, you'd get a real nasty step which would be very difficult to get out when you were trying to finish it off, and would also risk actually cutting the end off. So this is where you want to use the nice rounded bit of the anvil. When you start your taper, always do it square to start with, even if you're using round, whatever you're using. Just hit 2 sides, draw it out to the approximate size you want, then round it off. Now we're going to flatten out the knobble that we hung over the end, work the hammer around it in sort of a bit of a circle so it draws out evenly on both sides, so you don't have one lump sticking out more than the other each one side or the other. It looks a bit like that, a bit like a deformed shovel. So then we'll tidy it up a bit using either the rounded bit of the anvil again there, or even over the beak. Same as I've always said in all of my videos, keep it level, keep it square, keep it straight. You don't have to be too precise, but you want to keep it as even as you can, because it's so much more difficult to get bends and kinks out afterwards. Let's tidy up the taper a little bit. I'm obviously not very happy with that because I'm simply taking an awful lot of time to do this. And when you're rounding stuff up like that, keep it moving, otherwise you'll get a flat spot. It's not bad. Now I'm going to turn it around and do the other end. Now you'll notice I'm using bolt tongs. If you haven't got bolt tongs, you've just got hollow bits or flat pair, you might want to leave flattening that end out until you've done both ends, until you've tapered them at both ends, and then flatten them both. It might be easier to hold, but as I've got the bolt tongs, I'm going to use them. So now we do the same again, 3/8 over the end, flatten out 2 sides, just keep it square. It draws out quicker if you just do 2 sides, and B, if you try and taper it by keeping it round, you'll end up with a big spiral twist in it if you're not careful, and it makes that up a mess. So the way to do it is start off square, then once you've got to about the dimensions you want, then you can round it off. Tidy the taper up. I like to do most of my work with a hammer. I'm not too keen on rasping stuff up afterwards, so I like to try and get as much of the detail work done with the hammer. And as it gets cooler like that, that's the time you can really take out most of the hammer marks. If you try and do it when it's too hot, you just put more hammer marks in, but when it's starting to cool down, that takes them out. flatten this end. Again, working the hammer round in circles, round from one side to the other. You don't want to draw this bit out too thin. Again, there we are over the rounded bit. Yeah, if you draw it out too thin, it becomes flimsy. So you want to try and keep a bit of meat there. This one's obviously not drawing out particularly well, so just using the ball of the ball peen just to encourage a bit more out where I want it. Again, keep it moving, otherwise you'll end up with a flat spot. So hammer and move. Because whatever you're doing with the hammer on the top, you're getting exactly the same effect on the bottom, on the bit that's against the anvil. Now bend this down to about 45 degrees. Doesn't have to be exact, just a rough idea. Turn around and do the same on the other end. Tidy up the taper a bit. Now we'll stick it in and get the whole lot hot. We're going to put the actual handle shape into it now. Just cooling off the actual sort of spade ends, just so they don't get damaged. Shame, sorry you can't see exactly what I'm doing there, but you get the idea. Just gently bending it over the end. And for this, because I'm just doing the one demonstration, I'm doing it by hand over the end of the anvil. But if you were making a large quantity, you'd probably want to make a little jig so that they all came out the same. So you just clamp it on one end with the vice grips or mole grips, and then just pull it round, just to get them all coming out the same. But as this is a demo, it doesn't really matter. Just cool the end off again. Now you'd think I would have learnt there. I dropped this several times. I might have been better off to have changed tongs, but no, there we go again. I should have just got another pair of tongs, but there you go. You don't learn. Just trying to get this balanced. One side has come up slightly different to the other, but I think we've just about got it now. So next thing, I'm going to just put a couple of spots and drill some holes. Just a couple of small screw holes. Right, well, I've drilled the holes. Now we're just going to put the old electric wire brush on it, give it a tidy up, take the scale off. How great these wire brushes on the angle grinder. Take all the hard work out of it. Still haven't changed tongs, And it's hot. Yes, it's still hot. See, it's giving it quite a nice shine. Just taking the scale off. So let's get the worst off. Give it a dunk because it's still a bit warm. And there we go. It's nothing fancy, just a very basic, rustic looking little handle. I've actually made some of these. I've got them on cupboards in my bedroom. And you can either lacquer it or wax it, paint it black, do whatever you like with them. Real simple, nice little handle. There you go.